What's up YouTube, Metro Hero 2012 here, coming at you with my San Francisco 49ers realistic rebuild. In today's episode, we're going to be doing a season recap, getting into the offseason and rebuilding this team. Now I will warn you this episode that it goes from being a realistic rebuild to a non-realistic rebuild technically. There's a couple moves that are not so realistic. What happened, and this was a concern of a viewer, is that I ran out of funds. So you can see in the top right I have negative funds, so I kind of get a warning from my boss. And then also the salary cap is negative, so we can't sign any free agents and our team is empty. So what I have to do is not sign any free agents in the offseason, draft some guys, and then make a couple trades after the offseason to clear cap space. So all of those guys that we re-signed last year, Garoppolo, Martavis Bryant, Tevin Coleman, they all have to go because I didn't understand exactly how the contracts work, and they have to go. So if you only want realistic, I totally understand if you don't want to watch. And then also the thing I want to ask you guys is in the comments below, please let me know if you want me to continue on with this 49ers franchise, or if you'd like me to start over from scratch, maybe with like the Browns, the Jaguars, the Jets. I'd be totally okay with doing that, and I can even do it a little bit more so realistic this time. I apologize that this happened. I didn't understand how this salary cap and funds were affected by my moves, but next time it'll be fixed. So if you guys want me to start in the next offseason on a franchise or redo it and start fresh, play every game, I can certainly do that as well. Or if you guys are okay with these moves, let me know and I can continue on this franchise. So whatever your vote is, leave it in the comment section below, please. And I appreciate your understanding and patience. But yeah, just let me know what you think. Whatever has the most votes, I'll probably go with. I had so much fun with this team, I don't want to completely ditch them, but it kind of sucks that I had to make some unrealistic moves. And I really wanted this thing to be realistic, but now that I understand the dynamic of it and how it works, I probably could redo it with maybe a different team and do a much better job. So again, let me know what you think, but that'll be the end of me talking about that, and we'll get right into this episode. So as you can see here, we're trying to re-sign a couple guys. Caleb Brantley, Marcus Williams, two guys that played super well for us, guys we want to bring back. Tarek Cohen, we want to bring him back as well. These are last chance signings, so we want to make sure we give them an offer that they are going to accept. So I do give them a little bit more of a signing bonus. Doesn't affect us too much, but you can see that cap room is negative, available funds is negative, which is not fun to do in offseason with that, guys. Trust me. I had to plan out my draft pretty well, sign a whole bunch of undrafted rookie free agents, and build the team that way. So definitely not the offseason I was hoping for. My fault because I didn't understand salary cap, but this is the hand we were dealt. This is what we had to do with. We're going to go ahead and try signing Juju Smith-Schuster. Don't have the cap room, so now they won't let us sign any more players. We're kind of screwed. Going into the offseason, hopefully we can do something. And for those of you who missed it, the Falcons did win the Super Bowl. So going in here, looking at all of these high salary players, and what I'm kind of mad about and don't understand is I don't have a lot of guys that are that high salary. Like when you look at it, there's two guys making over $10 million a year, and everybody else is making $6 million or less, and I've exceeded the cap by like a ton. So I don't understand how that happened, or maybe NFL players just can't get paid anything at all. I don't understand that. But as you can see here, I was in free agency trying to sign like Shaquille Barrett and was unable to. So I just want to show you guys I was not able to do any free agent signings. Here's some of the guys I was targeting in the first round. I had something like the 10th pick, so some of our wins came back to harm us because those three guys that I really wanted ended up all getting drafted right before my pick, and I totally know that I could trade up and get them, but I really don't like doing that. I don't like just adjusting my draft position unless we find some guy that's just like a franchise changing player, which I didn't. Maybe the linebacker would have been, but we decided not to do that. I'm okay with jumping up the draft board for a guy we absolutely love, but this is a rebuild and I wanted to acquire more picks rather than get rid of them. So right now we have the 10th overall pick and we're looking to trade back. Essentially my thought process behind this is there were really three guys we were targeting in the first round. they're all gone. The rest of the guys on the draft board that I really care about are all second round talents or later. So what I'm going to do is trade back, pick up another second round pick this year. So I'll have 2 second round picks this year, as well as acquire a first round pick for next year. It was tempting to go the Browns route because they're offering me what would be like the first overall pick next year. I ended up not doing that because I wanted to have a second round pick this year. There were a whole bunch of guys that I thought were going to be really good, but yeah, you guys saw Griffin Fair, that running back, get taken right before my pick. But now we're here in the second round, the 6th pick of the second round, seeing if we can trade back a few spots again to acquire more. And I decide against it. We're going to go ahead and pick our player. Look at our draft board here, see what kind of second round talents we have. We have Victor Hundley, the running back. We have Royce Virud, the quarterback. We took him superstar development, so that's awesome to draft a guy superstar development in the second round. And also, like I mentioned, we're going to have to trade Jimmy Garoppolo away, so we do have that quarterback option. So superstar development is an awesome take in the second round. Now we have the number 42 overall pick. We're going to go ahead and look at our draft board again. So the running back that we originally wanted was taken. We're going to go ahead and review offers and accept a next year first round pick from the Cowboys because we have another pick a few picks later. And why not look at Victor Hundley, the running back. Drafted him. Not such a great pick. He's 67 overall, so not nearly as good as the other running back we were looking at, unfortunately, but then again, we just missed out on the pick, and we were able to acquire another first round pick for next year. Taking a look at what teams are offering us for the 23rd pick in the second round. And it looks like we accept a deal from the Falcons and let them have that pick. So let's go ahead and fast forward up until our next pick, which is the last pick in the second round. Let's see what we have here. On the draft board, our best available is Jamal Ellsworth, the cornerback. We take him. He's got quick development and looks like he was a good pick because he's 80 overall. Very, very good, solid pick for us. Now we're looking at third round, 16th overall pick, seeing what teams are offering us for that selection. Looks like we take a deal from the Redskins to get another second rounder next year. Because at this point, the people on our draft board, the guys who really had targeted, we've already drafted, are gone, or are late round picks. We went ahead and went with a wide receiver who was 6'6" and had a pretty good pro day, or combine. And he turned out to be okay, but not very good. Then we went with the left guard, Joseph Yoder, and said we had a good pick there for the value we took him at. Now with the 170th overall pick, we're looking at the center position. Take Patrick Tasker. He's an excellent pick. So we really did find good value at the end of this draft. I know the beginning didn't go as well. And then here we get an 81 overall wide receiver with the 201st overall pick. That's just insane that we were able to get him. He's actually probably going to be our number 1 receiver coming into next year. A lot of that has to do with the salary cap issues. And that's all the players who drafted. So we got a 73 overall, quarterback superstar development, halfback was okay, 80 overall cornerback, a couple good linemen, and a really good 81 overall wide receiver. All in all, is a really good draft. We were able to pick up a lot of the players that we had targeted, as well as picked up a lot of picks for next year's draft. So next year we should be able to make a lot of damage and fill a lot of holes in our roster, so I'm excited for that portion. But now we're going to have to sign some players to fill the rest of our roster because we have a very bare roster. We were unable to re-sign many people after last season because of the salary cap issues. So we're going to go ahead and try to sign a few people and then once that salary cap runs out, we're going to have to trade away some of our bigger salaries. So let's just go ahead here and pick up some of these undrafted free agents to fill our roster, some high potential young guys that we can get in on the cheap, and hopefully they can develop into better players and essentially just fill the roster is what we're going for here. So as you can see there, we finally reached our limit of the salary cap, and we're going to have to go and make those trades. Let's go ahead and view our roster quick, see what positions we can actually cut, and see who's making money. Looking at the savings and the penalty columns to see who will be available to just get off the roster and who we're going to have to trade away rather than cut because of that salary cap penalty. We're going to try our best not to take the penalty on anybody. So for instance, this guy, instead of trading or cutting him, we just switched his position to fill our roster from one end to the other. Looks like we're missing a couple positions here. We have a plethora of cornerback options, so we're going to go ahead and just cut a few guys here because we kind of have to just to stay afloat. We're short on safeties, so we're going to go ahead and edit one of our cornerbacks and make him a safety. Again, kind of just to fill the roster, and the cornerbacks usually can make pretty good safeties. So that being done, going back to free agents, we cut enough people so we can pick a few more up. But then really after that, our salary cap problems are very, very apparent, and we're going to have to make some trades to get those bigger contracts off of our books. So here we go with the first controversial trade. We need to get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo's salary, and the Chiefs were very interested in him, so I guess they like him a little bit more maybe than Patrick Mahomes as their future option. They had Patrick Mahomes for a year. Maybe they decided he wasn't their guy, so we're going to go ahead and try to just give them lots of stuff, as in Jimmy Garoppolo, a first-round pick, and another pick, just to get that salary off our books. And really, for Patrick Mahomes, it's a pretty good deal for the Chiefs. They're getting a really good quarterback that can succeed Alex Smith, and they're also getting another first-round pick, so good value for Mahomes. The next trade is dumping Garcon and Bowman, two very good players actually, and then a second-round pick to the Jets for Jamal Adams and Darren Lee. So not as realistic there to get Jamal Adams, but we still gave him a pretty good package, honestly. Pretty good players, and then another second-round draft pick, which a lot of times players are drafted, teams evaluate them, and they'll trade them for a much lower pick than they took them in the draft. So it's not too far off. We're going to go ahead and anticipate that we're going to get rid of Tevin Coleman because of that salary, so we're trying to directly trade him for Kareem Hunt and pick up some picks in the process. So we're offering Tevin Coleman and Kyle Usage because his salary is insane, so we did end up trading two of those guys for Kareem Hunt and getting a first-round pick. So Kareem Hunt can be our starting running back, picked up another first-round pick, and dumped a whole bunch of salary. So really good trade for us there, and then the Chiefs get an amazing back in Tevin Coleman. I hated to see him go, but we made a big mistake in his contract, so going to pick up a wide receiver in Trent Taylor, which we had before, and Juju Smith-Schuster as well. So just re-signing guys to the team. And then after all those moves, here's what the team looks like. I forgot to mention that we ended up trading Martavis Bryant and I believe Eric Reed it was to the Panthers for this guy Norwell, and I believe a good pick. So we dumped that salary, got a really good offensive lineman, and got a pick as well. So unfortunately, the salary cap issues caused a lot of problems for us, but we were able to kind of mitigate it, fix it. Somewhat unrealistically picked up Jamal Adams, and then the Patrick Mahomes trade I think was actually pretty not as unrealistic because they ended up getting a first-round pick with that, and then a really good quarterback in Garoppolo, who's actually overall is better than Mahomes and he had more experience. So overall, It wasn't the best thing to do for this franchise, but it was the only way to fix things. So hopefully you guys understand. Thank you so much for watching, and put your votes in the comments below whether you want me to continue with this one or restart. And I'll see you in the next one.